Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. If you are new here, hi, my name is Nishitha. On my channel, you will find a lot of product reviews, mainly foundations. Sometimes I post makeup tutorials, get ready with me, and also skincare review. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button. In today's video, I'm going to be testing out a foundation from Huda Beauty. It's her stick foundation, which is called for filter skin finish buildable coverage foundation stick. This totally comes in 39 shades. I got this shade Baklava, which is 340G. I'm gonna be swatching that for you guys so you can see how it looks on my skin tone. This has 0.44 ounce of product, which is actually considerably higher when compared to other stick foundations in the market. And this one retails for $39. It's surprisingly less when compared to her other product line. In general, her eyeshadow palettes are really expensive, but this foundation, I think it's still high-end but seems reasonably priced, not as high. And they claim that it's a lightweight foundation that glides on easily, providing customizable coverage with a natural-looking skin-like finish. I love finishes like that. So the coverage is supposed to be light to fill, assuming that you can build it up by layering it. It's for all skin types. This product is cruelty free, and for the first time, it's also fragrance free. I usually get a lot of comments asking me to try out her original liquid foundation, but I could never put that on my skin because I heard that it's highly scented, and I have sensitive skin to begin with, and I'm not gonna put a product that has such a strong scent on my skin. So that's why I never really tried it. But since this is fragrance free, I thought I should try it out because I've never really tried her face products before. I have tried her eyeshadows. I think they're good, but I'm curious to see how her face products work. I finally got a chance to do it because this has no fragrance in it. Oh, by the way, it's also supposed to be transfer proof, waterproof, humidity, and sweat resistant formula, which is going to melt into your skin for a natural filtered finish. Whether you prefer full or light coverage, the versatile formula will let you be the master of your complexion. I like that. Swipe it on, set it, and forget it for the rest of the day. So they do say it's supposed to be very long wearing. We'll see about that. Yes, no scent. Finally. So I'm gonna swatch the foundation. This is 340G. Add that here as well. That's a really good match. Like, at least on the viewfinder, I'm not even able to see where I have the foundation on. So I'm gonna try to blend it out. That looks like a good match because this foundation, this particular shade 340G, is supposed to have golden undertones. I usually go for foundations that have golden undertones because my skin has golden undertone. I'm going to pull you guys in closer and start applying the foundation. I'm going to be using beauty blender on one side and a brush on the other side. But usually stick foundations, personally I like to apply them with a brush because that way they're a lot quicker. But we'll see how this works out with the beauty blender. I'm not even able to see where I put the foundation on. This is where I blended it out. You can barely see it. So I'm going to start off with one side. I love stick foundations because they're very easy to travel with and you don't need to pump the foundation on the back of your hand and then apply it. You can just draw stripes and then blend it out. I'm gonna start off with that. I will layer more later if I want to build up the coverage. But I just want to see with a little bit how it looks like. Okay, I would say that gave me a very light coverage. I'm going to add a little bit more here and see if I can build it up. Because they do say that you can build up the coverage. Let's try that out. Okay. I'm going to push the product in so I can get maximum coverage out of it without having to layer more. That layered beautifully and it gave me more coverage in the cheek area. That's really nice. It blended out in like seconds. Stick foundations and kabuki brushes are like a match made in heaven. If you want to blend out a stick foundation, the better way to do it is using a brush. But we'll see how it applies with the beauty blender. It does have skin-like finish. It's completely undetectable on the skin. Do you guys see the difference? This is my actual skin and this is the foundation. It looks like my skin but better. Well, I'm really impressed. Now let's move on to this side. I'm going to try to blend it out with a blender. If I feel like things aren't working out as well, I'm going to use a brush. That's still blended out beautifully even with a sponge. Usually stick foundations are a bit harder to blend out with a sponge, but I feel like this one did a really good job. I'm going to add a little bit more in the cheek area here. Oh my god, it just looks like my skin but better, but it covered all the redness that I have. It looks very natural on the skin and it's ultra lightweight. So finish wise, I do not see a lot of difference blender versus a brush. But personally, I like a brush to apply stick foundations. Same goes for this one because I feel like it was a lot quicker to apply, and then I also got a little bit more coverage on the side when compared to this one. So it totally depends on your personal preference. If you want it to be quick and if you want to get more coverage, then I'd say go with a brush. But finish wise, I do not see a lot of difference. They both look exactly the same. The shape of this is really interesting. It's like a diamond shape. I like that. Packaging is really beautiful, by the way. I don't know if I showed it to you guys. It looks very similar to her original foundation packaging, but it's just in a stick form. If you really want to use a sponge just to add some extra hydration, I would say first go in with the brush, apply the foundation, and then just you can bounce the beauty blender on top so that everything is much more blended in. That's what I like to do. The foundation is so natural looking, you guys. Like, you can totally layer it, build up the coverage, but even in the areas where I layered it, it still looks very natural. Like, it doesn't look like I've piled upon makeup, and it's not even looking cakey or heavy. It doesn't look like makeup at all, but it still gave me really good coverage. One thing I will say though, if you're trying to put the lid on, make sure you twist the product all the way down. The stick is so emollient, like even the slightest pressure could break it and make you waste your product. So make sure you're twisting it all the way down and then put the lid on. By the way, this shade looks like something that's made for my skin tone. At least in the studio lighting, that's what it looks like to me. And it's very unfortunate that I never got to try it out before because, her foundation being scented. I'm really glad that she finally came out with an unscented product because this shade is like a really good match for me. I mean, it doesn't even look like I have foundation on. That's how natural it looks like. I wouldn't say the foundation is hydrating, but at the same time, it's not drying out my skin. So if you have extra dry skin, like, apply good moisturizing products underneath. But if you have normal to oily skin types, you will really like this foundation because it has such a nice natural finish, like a skin-like finish. I really love that. You could probably tell that I'm really loving the foundation. I love the finish. I love how it layered. I love that it looks very natural, but still giving me a good amount of coverage. Like right off the bat, you get a light coverage, but you can build it up. I don't see this one being like a super full coverage unless you add 2 more layers. But for me, at least for my skin condition right now, I feel like 2 layers gave me really good coverage and it still looks very natural even after layering the product. Now I'm gonna go off camera, apply the rest of my makeup. When I get back, I'll tell you guys how everything layered on top. So I'll see you all in a bit. Hey guys, I'm back. It's currently 1:32 p.m. I started the wear test, I started applying the foundation around 11 o'clock, I want to say. So it's been almost like little over 2 hours since I've had this foundation on. And I have to say, like, everything blended out beautifully. Like my bronzer, blush, concealer, everything went on fine. And I do not see any kind of transfer with the foundation. But it feels like hydrating on the skin. A little bit of, my oil speaking through. I have not used any kind of powder on my face, not even to set my under eyes. And I did not use any primer when I started off the video. So the foundation is on its own. I really like the finish. It's very weightless on the skin. It's more skin-like finish. But one thing I will say though is that the shade at first looked great, but I feel like when I go in natural light, things are looking a little bit ashy, especially around my mouth and also a little bit on my forehead. I don't know if it's just me. What do you guys think? Do you think it looks ashy? I mean, it could look fine in this studio lighting, but I feel like when I go in the natural light, it is looking a little bit ashy. Maybe it's just in my head, I'm not sure. But other than, that slight ashiness that I'm noticing, the foundation is doing great on its own. Like, even the areas where I layered it, I'm not seeing any kind of cakiness, and I obviously applied some concealer on top. Everything is sitting beautifully on top of this foundation. Formula wise, no complaints so far. It layered beautifully. It feels very weightless on the skin. I have nothing bad to say about it at this point. So I'll continue with the wet test now. I'm going to keep the foundation on for as long as I possibly can. When I get back, I'll share my final thoughts. So yeah, I'll see you all at the end of my day. Hey guys, I'm back. It's currently 8 p.m. I've had this foundation on for almost 9 hours at this point, and I'm here to share my final thoughts. I must say, I really like the formula of this one. It's very long wearing. It's been almost 9 hours, and the foundation is still on there. Like, you can see my bronzer, blush, highlighter, everything still on there. Oh, I almost forgot to mention that I actually took a nap in this foundation, and I was sleeping like this and nothing moved around. Like, foundation is still on there. So it is pretty long wearing like she claimed it was gonna be. Even after this long, the foundation still feels very weightless on the skin, but the coverage is almost there. Like, I did layer the foundation in this area to cover the acne spots. I feel like the foundation is still doing a pretty good job covering those. Nothing moved around. And I really appreciate that she removed the scent, the strong scent from this foundation. You know, even sensitive people should get to try out her foundations, and I'm really glad they heard us and removed a fragrance from this. But if you're looking for, like, you know, full glam foundation, if you think that this is going to be similar to her original foundation, that's not the case. This is more of a natural foundation. You can get a coverage that is above medium, but it's not going to be like that full glam foundation, like her original foundation. And I personally don't mind that. I love foundations which are more on the natural side. I feel like the finish of this foundation is kind of versatile. It might cater to, like, you know, a wide range of skin types, like from dry to oily, because it's been 9 hours. I mean, a little bit of oil speaking through in this area, but trust me, in person it does not look even noticeable. With the studio lightings, they might make me look a little bit shinier than I actually am in person, but that's not the case. So even if you have oily skin type, or even if you have dry skin types, this definitely is worth a shot. And keep in mind, I did not use any kind of primer underneath. I did not use a setting spray to increase the longevity of this, and I did not powder my skin. The foundation is just on its own, and I feel like it's doing very great so far. Usually at this point, foundations tend to sink into my pores here, but I'm not seeing that with this foundation. It's actually holding up pretty good. One more thing I want to mention is that it actually is not a deal breaker. I did layer the foundation in this area just to build up the coverage because I have some acne spots there. When you come up really close to my skin and look at it, you can see that I have layered that foundation because it's slightly, very slightly looking cakey. But trust me, that's not a deal breaker. If you're far away, you won't even be able to notice that. Even I am having a hard time noticing it unless I put the mirror at a certain angle, and when the lighting hits at a certain angle, I'm noticing that. But just like this, it looks pretty good to me. So if you're looking for a good natural day-to-day stick foundations which you can throw in your purse and which is very quick to apply, I'd say definitely give this one a try. But if you're looking for like a full glam foundation which is going to give you that flawless skin, I don't think this is going to be it. And the only thing that I'm bothered about is the shade. I mean, at first when I applied it, it looked great, but in natural light, things are looking a little bit ashy. I don't know, like, have you tried her products before, her foundation before? If you're closer to my skin tone, let me know in the comments down below which do you think would be a better match for me, because this shade is looking a little bit ashy in this area. That could also be because, this is not like a full coverage foundation. Sometimes when foundations are more on the, medium coverage, they tend to look a little bit ashy around my chin. So that is still okay. I don't know what I can do about it. But let me know if you think there is any other shade that might work better for my skin type. I would really appreciate that. But all in all, I think it's a great natural day-to-day foundations which you can layer up to build up a little bit more coverage. It's great that it doesn't have any fragrance or alcohol in it. All in all, I think it's a great foundation. It gets a huge thumbs up from me. I feel like these days, for the past 1 or 2 months, I'm having like really good luck with foundations because I tried Rare Beauty one recently. I love it. I love the NARS Soft Matte, and even this one. I feel like brands are coming up with really nice foundations these days. I will leave a link to those reviews as well if you're interested to check it out. And that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my review and found it helpful. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in my next one. Bye.